All right, this lesson is about negative and positive numbers, and you've worked with these. We understand on a number line, the middle is called the origin. To the left are the negative numbers, which are just opposite of positive, and then to the right are the positive numbers. Now, we're not going to draw a number line because we're past that, but we do need to go over the rules, and I will tell you, students, no matter what level of mathematics, still struggle with negatives and positives. So let's just take a look. So here are all of the rules. The first thing we have to remember is minus a negative becomes addition. So like 3, let me write it down instead of just saying it. 3 minus negative 2 actually is the same thing as 3 plus 2. Minus a negative undoes itself. So minus a negative becomes addition. When you are adding numbers with like signs, you add the numbers and keep the sign. When you're adding numbers with different signs, you subtract and keep the sign. So when you're adding, so if you had 3 plus negative 2, that just becomes 3 minus 2. You just subtract them and keep the sign from the bigger number. Number 4, when multiplying or dividing two positives or two negatives, the answer is positive. When multiplying or dividing one negative and one positive, the answer is negative. One thing that's not on here that a lot of students forget is if I am doing 3 minus positive 2, minus a negative becomes a plus, minus a positive, it's just minus. This is just negative 3 minus 2. Which then they're both negatives because a minus and a negative are the same thing, and you add and keep the signs. Minus and negative is addition, minus a positive is subtraction, because minus and negative are technically the same things. Let's work through some simple examples. So this is negative 3 plus 2. We're adding two different signs. We're adding a negative and a positive, so we subtract, keep the sign from the bigger number. The answer is negative 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. 3 is bigger, so we keep the negative. Example 2. 3 minus negative 2. Minus a negative becomes addition. So it just becomes 3 plus 2. All you have to do is add, and you get 5. Okay. Example 3. 3 times negative 2. When multiplying or dividing one negative and one positive, the answer is negative. So we just multiply 3 times 2, and it's negative. Example 4. I'm not sure why this typing is so small, but that's okay. Negative 3 times negative 2. Two negatives in multiplication or division becomes a positive, so that's just positive 6. Okay. It's really easy to make an error on these. Now, the beauty at this level of mathematics is you have your calculators. But those of you who are looking forward towards college, or if you're going to take any sort of testing, SATs or anything like that, you already know there's no calculators on part of those. So you just need to be practicing these by hand occasionally and going from there. All right, so here is an in-class assignment. You're going to have one of these, maybe a couple of different ones to do throughout the lecture. So you're going to either screenshot this and work it later, or pause the video, work these, and then you can either bring them to me, or you can just take a picture and send it to me, which I would prefer because I don't have to keep up with that much paper. And then once a week, I will average your in-class grades together for a once a week grade in the grade book. Okay, so here are 6 problems to do. Write them out, answer them, get them to me. There's going to be another little bit of this lecture, so we're not quite done, but there's the first part of your in-class assignment. Now, those basic order of negatives and positives are just the basics. Here's the reality of what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to do some negatives and positives within the order of operations. So here's our first one, and we have to remember at this point our negative and positive rules and our order of operation rules. So order of operations, we're going to do our parentheses first. 7 minus 15, They're different signs, so we're going to subtract and keep the sign from the bigger number. That gives me -8. Now that that is complete, we're going to go to multiplication. 3 times -8 is -24 plus 12. Now we add and subtract together from left to right. Remember your negative and positive rules. -24 plus 12 is -12. All right. You guys have been doing this. Those who are enrolled have done this for a while. So that's it for that. You have an online assignment to work through. I linked it where this was, and you're good to go.